Welcome back to the Socialist Star YouTube channel. I am your host, the Socialist Star, otherwise known as Minx28. And as I said I was going to in my previous video, I have compiled a list of things I think a new party to challenge the Democrats and Republicans would need. Now, this is not an exhaustive list. This is just really more of my thoughts put down onto pen and paper with a little bit of word here and there. Before we get into that, I also want to explain why I think the Democrats are not the party of the people as they proclaim, why they are not the future of American governance, and why they're basically just as crappy as the Republicans. Now, of course, I'm going to be my usual chippy, poignant, tomfoolery-like self. I think I'm past the 1 minute mark, so now I'm going to cuss. Subscribe, you motherfuckers. I'm trying to not have to have a job here. No, I'm just kidding. It'd be nice to do this daily, is what I'm getting at. In the first part here, I want to show this video, which has shown essentially the same messaging that all Democrats have seemingly taken. Of course, with a few exceptions of those who are Democrat in name only, like, Bernie Sanders, somewhat AOC sometimes, kind of forced several times to play the political game. But if you got a set of morals, I believe you might as well die on them. But this video, to me, exemplifies exactly what Democrats have more or less taken as their stance, and it's very ineffective. It's very being outright honest, not getting us anywhere, and it's the very reason as to why, we are currently in the situation we are now. Because Democrats have not been the party for working people for I mean, if you think Bill Clinton was a pro-worker politician, I assure you, you have the very concept of pro-worker completely misunderstood. If you think he was pro-low class and middle class, I assure you, you have the very definition of middle class or low class very misunderstood. He played his part after Reagan in basically mass deregulation of all the financial sectors, all the banks, all the colleges, all the business operations. And initially, yeah, there was a boom. Of course, there's always going to be a boom when the red tape goes away. But there's a reason that the red tape was there. Let me show you exactly what I mean about the Democratic bullshit that we have today and why they are useless.
I'm glad to be back.
Well, it's wonderful to have you. We are going to talk about your book, Anti-Semitism in America, A Warning, in just a moment. I do want to start with some news topics, this back and forth between President Trump and the judiciary.
Chuck Schumer is a man with his glasses so far down his fucking nose that when he comes up for air after smelling the follicles of Republican assholes, he can also describe to you how many there are because he counted them with his fucking glasses being down there.
Gotcha, bitch!
And any other right-winger whose ass he's eating out of on the daily. With that being said, what is his proclamation of deterrence, his announcement of resistance, his position of counter-revolution to that of the right-wing agenda?
This week, the president called to impeach a judge who ruled against him on deportations of alleged Venezuelan gang members, as you know. Supreme Court Justice John Roberts released a rare statement rebuking the idea of using impeachment to settle judicial disagreements.
I mean, even Chief Justice John Roberts has more of a backbone, and that fucker is conservative through and through. That guy has more of a backbone than Chuck Schumer and most of the damn Democrats.
Some constitutional scholars and fellow Democrats, Leader Schumer, say this is a constitutional crisis. Do you agree? Is the United States in a constitutional crisis?
Yes, I do, Kristen, and democracy is at risk. Look, Donald Trump is a lawless, angry man. He thinks he should be king. He thinks he should do whatever he wants, regardless of the law. And he thinks judges should just listen to him. Now, we have to fight that back in every single way. And we actually have had over 100 cases in the courts where we've had a very good record of success. So Donald Trump, infuriated by that success, said judges should be impeached. Let me tell Donald Trump and the American people, Democrats in the Senate will not impeach judges, full stop.
So he has none. So he believes that a constitutional crisis exists, but he's acting like that beeping sound isn't actually the fire alarm going off, it's just the battery is fucking low. Or maybe he can't hear it. I don't fucking know. The dude is older than fucking Giza. If there's a constitutional crisis by the president, right? The whole purpose of checks and balances is the other two departments, the other two branches are supposed to step in and remove the crisis. So impeach Donald Trump if you believe there is a constitutional crisis. Challenge everything he gives. Call his presidency illegitimate. Just anything, any morsel of showing that you had chest hairs at one point would be great. Like, let the shutdown happen. Presidents take the fall for the shutdowns all the time. Anytime they happen, it's on the president. And you say, oh, it's not good for our country because then he could do all this shit with his position, because then the president, no, he can't, because then you just pull the checks and balances. The moment he tries to do something that is not within the authority of the presidency, you, as a sitting congressman, go in there and pass legislation or impeach his ass. Just because the government shuts down does not mean your fucking asses get to go fucking home too.
And that's on God, baby girl.
That's bullshit. There is no accountability on these politicians whatsoever, and it's so annoying. They have literally sat entrenched in their positions for decades. Some of these motherfuckers were born the same day as sliced bread and have been in power damn near just as fucking long. They are complacent as fuck. They have never been held accountable. Democrats especially. At least Republicans, they have to put on the clown suit, and they have to fake understanding agriculture, and they have to fake being a fucking cowboy, and they have to fake enjoying guns, and they have to fucking fake as if they think big business is bad. Democrats, you don't have that. You have the easiest messaging opportunity, and you guys don't take it because you have no backbone. You coalesce every time you so much as run across a speed bump. You slow the fuck down rather than just plowing through.
President Trump said he would not defy a court order. Do you agree? Do you believe him?
I don't trust him. We have to watch him like a hawk. Defying court orders is why our democracy is at risk, and we'll have to do everything to fight back in that regard.
And you're over here talking about, we're going to fight him with cases in the court. Bitch, he don't care about the court. The man does not care about the court. They knew that a court was going to block them from sending a bunch of fucking immigrants to a concentration camp prison, and they immediately did their best to subvert every part of it. And once the damn court came out with the plan, even though the planes hadn't even fucking landed yet, they fucking still sent them anyways. He does not care about the courts. You're talking about the courts, and the courts we're gonna fight him everywhere in the courts, and we're gonna lawsuit the fuck out of Donald Trump. It's Donald Trump. That motherfucker has literally been sued so many goddamn times, it's not even funny at this point. He basically has a reserved seat in every courthouse. The man has 34 fucking felonies. Court does not scare this man, okay? I'm not saying he's a gangster, I'm just saying money doesn't give a fuck about judicial capacity.
You know, I'm curious to know what that looks like, because in a recent interview you said Democrats will have to take extraordinary action if President Trump defies the courts. Leader Schumer, can you be specific with me? What exactly is extraordinary action?
Look, this is an extraordinary moment. It does require extraordinary action. If he defies the Supreme Court, then we are in uncharted territory that we haven't been in for a very long time. And our entire democracy, this whole beautiful enterprise of democracy that we've had for over 240 years, is at risk. And look, I believe that if Donald Trump should defy the courts, the public will rise up. Democrats will fight it in every single way. And I believe, autocrats only succeed, Kristen, if the public lets them.
Schumer's definition of extraordinary action is literally nibbling on the balls of Donald Trump.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna come. Hey, yo, what the fuck?
That's just all it is. It's just nibbling on the balls. Instead of licking them, he's nibbling them. A little tinkle, little bite, little pinch. Maybe some little bit of piss comes out. That's it.
It's time to stop. It's time to stop, okay? No more.
That's Chuck Schumer's definition of extraordinary action. Is literally nothing, because I'm pretty sure at this point Trump, as well as being a narcissist, is a little bit into fucking self-indulgent pain. So I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter. And like, notice that he didn't give an answer, but moved the goalpost and basically said it's on the people. The public has to do it. The people have to do it. What did we elect you for then?
Wow, that's a great question.
Are you saying that your position is utterly fucking useless? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying your party, which so many people give money to because you spam our email inboxes, is useless? Is that what you're telling us? Because if that's what you're fucking telling us, then you can step the fuck down. If you are fucking useless and don't actually push the people's agenda, then you can step the fuck down. So what does a new people-led party need to do? Because that is the whole point of this video, right? And like I said, I've written down some points. This is not all of them, but I think this is a good starting point. First and foremost, no Hakeem fucked up the dream Jeffries. No Barack forgot he's still on the goddamn clock. Obama. No 3-1 lead blowing Kamalas. No Clintons, they don't fit in. No elitist Petes. No Gavins whose sons are self-admitted racist fans. No billionaire Bloombergers. Fuck you looking at, Blinken, you genocidal bitch. Maxine, you're well past your goddamn expiration date. Somehow I have recently found myself rooting for fucking Strokes. And I can't say this enough, even though I have already said one. No Clintons, no Kennedys, no Cheneys. We don't need a horn dog, any worm infestations, or Warhawk associated dipshits. Now that we have, marked out the people we should keep out as representatives of the party, let's get into how this party stands. What are its stances? What is the approach it must take? Firstly, I got to explain this, obviously, because you've got to form the party. Written a couple of things on that. But firstly, this party has to obviously come from a grassroots position.
I am once again asking for your financial support.
It cannot come from establishment. The moment it comes from establishment is the moment it becomes corrupt. If you allow elitist and established people into the party in a position of prominence, power, influence, or authority that do not have any sort of track record of actually unconditionally standing with the cause, then the fucking movement becomes corrupt. And therefore the party just becomes an extension of the Democratic coalition, which is a shitty extension to be a part of, if we're being just outright honest. Like, there's a reason no one likes Democrats right now, because they lose so fucking always. It's so fucking annoying. So that's got to be the grassroots, right? If that's got to be the come up, you get your unionization efforts going. You choose from your pool of leaning community leaders, union leaders, and you put them together into some sort of coalition. Doesn't matter what you name the party, just put them together into some sort of coalition. And you actively turn whatever base location this starts. So if it starts here in North Carolina, you flood the gates, right, with your messaging, which is what you're gonna have to stand on. And this is what you do. I've written it down, by the way. Couple of my thoughts.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Do everything opposite to Dems and Republicans, who are the same thing. So no shit, just literally do everything opposite. If they show no backbone, show backbone. If they show backbone about something, counter that backbone with even more fucking backbone and crush whatever they're showing backbone on, because I guarantee you it's either more war spending or more deregulation or better tax breaks for the top 15% or some bullshit about defunding something that is absolutely and completely utterly necessary. If anything, it's more than likely that it's so underfunded in the first place that defunding it basically makes it useless. Like literally every department right now, when Doge so much as swings its tiny fucking crypto dick near it. Protect and offer increases to Social Security, all healthcare, and increases in FEMA funds. That last part is because South Carolina has been on fucking fire for like 2-3 weeks. Isn't in the news? No. Why? Because we are dealing with a constitutional fucking crisis. But South Carolina is not the only place that needs help. Here in my home state, the Blue Ridge Mountain area has just recently been reconnected to Tennessee with like a 2-lane highway, when there used to be like 19 to 20 different points of connection up there. There are still several areas in Asheville and surrounding areas all throughout the Blue Ridge Mountains that literally are ghost towns because the flooding and the hurricanes wipe them off the map, and there's no funds. Even if there was someone to build things back up, there's no funds, there's no government help. And that is the purpose of government. When disaster happens, the government is supposed to step in and help the fucking people, especially if it is unforeseen disaster. And yes, climate change played a part. However, we, as a result of our climate change, cannot determine when God is about to hit us with a fucking uppercut.
And believe me, he's winding up.
So increase the FEMA funds, protecting Social Security, and having the government actually be willing, in my opinion, to put more money into Social Security. So that way payouts can be increased. I feel as if Social Security is extremely lacking in its purpose and potential, and it does not keep up with inflation. So increases to that. And when I say all healthcare, do not be afraid to discuss universal healthcare.
I shouldn't.
Do it.
Free Luigi is a thing because Americans are tired of getting fucked by mysterious people on telephones that get into arguments with our doctors about why they cannot pay for our chemo when we're dying of cancer and we caught it early and now's the best time to fight it off. Do not be afraid to champion universal fucking healthcare. Platform not on race, but on class. Grassroots and loud. I say this because I remember leading up to the end of the last election, there was these comments from the Democrats saying that black men aren't going to vote for Kamala. Black men are having a crisis of identity. Black men this. This has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with race.
What did he say?
But you want to know why it involves race? It's because it's easier to keep classes under control from the top where the class is small if you break up the larger classes below into smaller segments. Now, yes, do not get me wrong. There will be racists out there who are poor as shit, but that's a poor as shit, dumb fuck racist. What can they do to you? They live in a moldy fucking trailer. As long as you stay in groups whenever you're in their area, you'll be alright. I doubt you'll even be in their areas, okay? And most people are not racist. Most people are just set in their ways, and the ways are class-based destruction. So that way the tippy top can keep themselves at the tippy top. It does not matter at the top if you're white, if you're black, if you're Indian, if you're green, if you're yellow, if you're fucking orange. It does not matter. All that matters is the commas in your bank account and how you can help others, and yourself included, keep those commas in your bank account at the bare minimum. That's the goal. It's fine to say we're proud that this person will be the first black woman president or whatever. It's not your identity. It isn't. To the American people, we've heard it enough. We know that, this country was built on the backs of minorities. We know that. We know that this country was built on the backs of the poor. We know that. The better argument is the poor one at this time being, simply because that encompasses more people than they realize.
Don't pander to me.
Do not cave on individual rights. Don't even lament. Don't think about it. Don't negotiate it. Do not give any justification by saying that there is truth to any of the claims. Well, let me give you a list of individual rights. Abortion, LGBTQ+, immigrants, economy, labor, infrastructure support, agricultural, climate, and government assistance. Abortion rights. There is no state where it is legal for a doctor to just off with the fucking head of the baby the moment it slides out the womb because the mom says, actually, you know what? I kind of don't want to raise this thing. That's not real. And you're not allowed to sit here and say, well, my religion tells me that. No, I'm sorry. Religion does not get to play a factor into this life that is being created. Yes, mistakes happen. Yes, you could say, well, they shouldn't be opening their legs. To which I say, how the fuck do you have kids? Fuck yeah! And you're gonna say, well, I did it when I was married. We were married. Okay, and you wanna know why you're raging at young teenage girls, young women, or middle-aged women who are getting abortions? Because you yourself did not have the opportunity to get an abortion. That's it. Sorry, hate to break your reality. Moving on. LGBTQ+. What the fuck do you care? That's all I got to say. What do you care? And you cannot say religion, because again, separation of church and state. That's the philosophy, right? So what the fuck do you care? Are you fucking a trans person? No? then let them do what they want to do. Are you going to slide yourself in between the lesbian scissor fest? No, because you have a penis. Let them do what they want to do. And if you have a vagina, have fun. Immigrants. I think it's not a good idea for the country that consistently parades itself around as this place where the pilgrims went to go find safety, away from the British Empire and its religious regulatory statements, and started the revolution. A country made of immigrants, where it mattered not where they come from, but it mattered that they identified as American. It's not a good look when that country is literally doing Nazi shit by taking a class and saying, you're not allowed to be here. That's a bad look. And by bad look, I mean that literally spits in the very face of the bullshit storyline of immigrants started this nation. The individual rights of immigrants need to be respected. You might say, but they're not citizens. They don't have any individual rights. I'm sorry. I didn't know that it required a fucking social security number for you to be considered fucking human. Does not matter if they have a social security number. It does not matter if they pay taxes. It does not, none of this shit matters. They're fucking human, okay? And fun fact, they do pay taxes. It's billions. It is billions of fucking dollars. And guess what? They pay billions upon billions of fucking dollars. And they will never, ever, 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 ever see any of that money. They don't get Social Security. They hardly, if ever, get any government benefits. And yet, they contribute to yours. Economy. Support the fuck out of unionization efforts. Studies have shown if you're in a union, you make more money, you get more benefits. And you might say, well, the company's gonna falter. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not saying unionize some small business that has one location and will never go beyond that, okay? Because that's what government regulation is for. And if there's one thing that people in cities love to do, is I love to shop small businesses, go to small businesses and buy things and this and that. They'll be all right. That's what government regulation is for. But supporting unionization efforts for large industries, especially industries which are utterly necessary, such as mail transportation, like FedEx, UPS, or electricity, or internet providers, so forth and so on, right? Unionization efforts of those industries will not only make them more efficient, more attractable in a current sitting where they are basically considered last kind of chance jobs for a lot of people, and that's the reality of it, whether you want to admit it or not. No one's going out to work on a line just solely because they love it. There is a part of that, yes, but also because it's the job that offers the most money, at the same time can kill you faster than being a cop. No one is going out to fucking oil fields and working oil fields because they just love it, okay? Part of that is there, sure, but most of it is because it pays you the best for your current situation.
Getting oil out of the ground is the most dangerous job in the world. We don't do it because we like it. We do it because we run out of options. Support
unionization efforts. Make it a requirement for certain fucking industries. Have a government department that stands behind it, as well as a government department that, unlike the departments of labor that we currently fucking have, that just is basically good for statistics and nothing else because it has no teeth, actually fund a department that could send the rail pipe up these big companies' assholes whenever they fuck over their employees. Infrastructure. Here's how infrastructure plays an individual factor. For example, I spoke earlier on the Blue Ridge Mountains and the collapse in that situation, and the fact that it's hard to basically access that area. Here's a fun little tidbit, little fun fact, little bit of muzzle of information. If our infrastructure receives proper support and funding, do you think that Western North Carolina would have basically been isolated from the rest of the world for several weeks? Do you think that the dam would have literally gave fucking way? Do you think that people would have had proper alerts and response times if there was actual infrastructure in place to let people know in the areas when things have gotten beyond acceptable, beyond controllable, beyond predictable? I think if they had all those things, the death toll will be a whole lot less. I think you'd still be able to go in and out of Asheville relatively easy. I think you would have had a lot less devastation, a lot less damage. But because we don't invest in it, people had to die. So it is your individual right to proclaim better infrastructure. It is. It is life-saving for you. And it doesn't just mean infrastructure as in like structural travel-based things or emergency services, notification services. It also means in the factor of hospitals, standby deployments for, disaster relief goods and this and that, including with FEMA. Agricultural. Give farmers support. Why in the fuck does a farmer have to drop $2 million on a fucking tractor? And I shit you not, go look at the prices of those big ass pieces of farm equipment. They quite literally are private airplanes, just on the ground in cost. There is no reason a farmer should be paying that and can't work on that machine, or else they void the fucking warranty. There is no reason that farmers should be consistently hounded by banks. There is no reason that farmers should be forced into bullshit fucking capitalist collectives by chicken corporations like Tyson and all this other shit. This shit happens, people, and it shouldn't. They feed us. I don't know how hard I can drill that into your head, but farmers should not be getting greened. And they are. Why do you think rural areas look so destitute and so shit? It's because despite them possessing so much land and providing all this food, all this shit, the economy of it gets smashed the fuck out. Rural areas and farming areas are quite literally just third world countries within our borders. And it's bullshit. It is bullshit. You need to give more support to farmers, and you need to give more support to immigrant labor workers. Climate is, of course, an individual thing, as I just discussed with infrastructure. It's hard to breathe. It would be a lot easier to breathe if we had better climate regulation. Heat stroke is a thing. Texas freezes over every other goddamn winter because the climate is unfucking predictable, and also the infrastructure there is dog shit because it's capitalist. Government assistance, SNAP, Medicare, Medicaid, whole 9 yards, needs more funding. It just does. It needs more funding. It needs more employees. It needs a smoother system, a better construct of division of funds. People do not need to constantly have to go fucking asking for it, okay? And go to hearings and all this other bullshit. Yes, there can be exploitation, but I assure you, in a system that is designed solely with the purpose of assisting people, ending child hunger statistics in this country, ensuring that people actually are able to afford their prescriptions and things when they're older, or that people who don't have a job that gives them health insurance can still fucking have health insurance, or people that don't have health insurance just at all because they can't get a goddamn job are not afraid to walk into a doctor's office when their arm is halfway falling off. I'm fine with a little exploitation of that fucking system. And the best way to weed out that exploitation, fun fact, hire more fucking people to work in those fucking departments so they can investigate potential cases of fucking fraud. So how does this new party build a base and not be a Green Party 2.0? First off, you have to Americanize the out of your terms. One of the reasons I try to make people laugh with my content, I try to make people, feel some light brevity with my content, is because at the end of the day, politics, whether you're into it or not, and I know because I'm into it, I'm a fucking freak. Because I like to debate, I'm a fucking freak. I get it. I say the same things about myself all the time. But I also understand politics is very fucking depressing. It is. And you add to that a population which is not exactly well educated when it comes to critical thinking. That includes myself to a certain degree. It's hard to get them to endure something that is so quite often soul snatching that the boringness of it alone makes it a non-starter. And I think many of the politicians we have today, especially in the Democratic Party, they're these drab, dreary, old sacks of shit. They come across as the fucking professor that is only still there because they had got tenure 30 years ago. And that's not good enough in today's America. Donald Trump may be a lot of things. Donald Trump is also extremely, extremely, extremely charismatic. Barack Obama, in my opinion, maybe a lot of fucking things, including a war criminal. And I know black people are gonna give me hell for this, but he is. Most presidents are. It's just the nature of the empire beast. I want to make something abundantly clear. But they are extremely charismatic. Barack Obama kind of did it in this thoughtful, intelligent way. Donald Trump does it in this idiotic, stupid, buffoon way. The stupid buffoon way brought out people who had never voted, never fucking voted, 30, 40, 50 fucking years, never voted. The intelligent way literally induced practically every minority race into a collective. So we cannot have, under any circumstances, bland, fucking, boring ass leadership. We need charismatic, vocal, relatable champions of the causes of the people. That is what we need. And unfortunately, because of the way America works, we have to avoid the red words, okay? We have to avoid the so-called communist words. Even if they're not really communist, they're just basic, bland fucking regulation that is necessary for any government and society to function. We have to avoid them. We have to somehow make them normal, make them relatable. And we've got to call out and we've got to belittle failed Democrats and Republicans. Decorum, the time for that is gone the moment someone's rights is tossed out the window without a care. It's gone the moment you can hypothesize that there is a constitutional crisis. You throw decorum out the window. Remember, republic, a version of democracy, but only if we can keep it. And we can't keep it by holding decorum until there's a gun to your head. Do not surrender on your talking points. Do not. We know it does not work. Kamala Harris went right-wing central with her campaign messaging. You heard her say more shit about the border than you heard her say anything about the child tax credits. You heard her say more shit about the military than you heard her say anything about shoring up Social Security or returning abortion rights. You're not going to pull the people who are right-wing nut jobs. You're not. It's just not going to happen. Most people, though, aren't right-wing nut jobs. Most people are just uninformed. And that uninformedness makes them go for whatever their area considers the norm. Our country is falling off a cliff. You can either be the light at the bottom of that fucking void, or you can be the trampoline that at the bare minimum bounces us back up to the cliff. Or you could also be the person who pulls us off the cliff. The party that pulls us off the cliff. We have to unify and not back down. Never. We shall overcome. That's more than just a civil rights song at this point. It is the song of the people. Lastly, always ask somebody why they support something. Okay? Because like I said, most of the time, it's literally just people are uninformed. So ask them. That way you can explain it to them and maybe you could change their mind. But that's all I have right now. That's all I've written down. I can maybe go into further detail later down the road. If you have any questions or comments, don't forget to leave them down in the bottom. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share with friends. Take care of those around you. Take care of those you love and care for. And understand this, that eventually, I don't know if it'll be too late, but eventually, things will get better. Or at least I hope. But in the meantime, I love you all. I hope you all stay safe. I hope you all get to follow your passions and your dreams. And fuck Democrats, the useless pieces of shit.